Okay, so here's another potentially long, rambly video about video stuff in jitter. The last one was I was doing these kind of cropping animation things with the video, and here I've got this. I started looking into masking, and surprise, that was actually just a video I recorded off of my computer. I'm going to start from scratch and try to start from scratch with that patch. So here we go. So after I was doing the cropping thing, I started looking into masks, and that's something that kind of confused me for a long time in jitter. I don't think I can fully explain how like the alpha channel and that stuff works, but I wanted to manipulate like parts of the video and show and hide certain sections of the video like I had in that clip I was just showing. So I don't know, let me start with the chickens. So one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to use a jit.noise matrix, right, to show and hide portions of that video. So let's do this. Get a little setup, P window, right? So jit.noise spitting out black and white, or well, grayscale cells. I want to make these black and white so that, you know, each section shows or hides part of the video. Right, so let's say that, right, like if this is black here, I want it to be transparent here actually. And if it's white, I want it to be showing. So the way I'm doing that is, I've got some notes here, checking my notes. All right, so first let's deal with the black and white part. So this is grayscale right now. I want it to be black or white. There's an object, what is it, RGB to Luma, and I don't want to do that. There's it makes it monochrome. I want it to be like black or white. I think there's like a shader that does that. Here's the way I'm doing it. So I'm going here. I need to kind of upscale this noise thing to the size of my window. I think that's the size of my window by default. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So first I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to need this eventually, the draw bangs. So I'll get that ready. And all I'm going to do there is test what each cell, I guess, in the matrix, and see if it's greater than some number. Right. So I'm going to put a float in there. That's going to be my value. It's 0.5 by default. And if it's greater than that number, then it's going to be a 1. If it's not, it's a 0. So let's see what that looks like on the other side. All right, now it's just black or white. And I can like reduce the, it might be inverted actually. But it works either way for me to be a mask. Okay, so your threshold kind of controls how much you're blocking in this case, right? Because less of them are greater than 0.73. If I made this 1, nothing would come out, right? So we want it somewhere in between. Okay, cool. The reason I have the drawbang thing here is I want that to be sent out every frame. And I'm going to do one other thing to kind of cheaply animate it, which is use jit.slide, which will kind of go from one state to another over a certain amount of time. So you give it these two parameters, slide up and slide down. Now I just make them the same thing usually. So now when you increase this, right, it takes some time to go from one version of this to the next. And that's why you need the drawbangs to repeatedly send out this matrix, so you kind of get all the in-between states. All right, because this has to update every time it's sent a matrix in there. Okay, so that's going to be my mask, and those are going to show and hide the video. So the way we're doing that part is with JGL Pix. Okay, and this is, I mean, this is probably shown in a like a written Max tutorial somewhere, but it just took a long time for me to kind of wrap my head around it. Okay, so I've got a texture coming out of here, going into JGL Pix. That is going to be, I do want the two inputs because this is going to go in the other side. Okay. And so what we want to do is I'm going to add these two things together. Adding them together, and I'm replacing the alpha channel of one with the alpha channel of the other, right? I think it's kind of like alpha blending, but I'm replacing one channel with the other. So we're going to do that. Well, that, yeah, that's kind of what I want there. Oops. Okay, so I'm taking the red channel of the combination of these two, taking the green and the blue. So here's green, here's blue, and then the alpha is the one that's left here. So what we do there is we're going to look at cells from the input 2, that noise thing. So sample, right, looks at a cell given a coordinate in this inlet here. So I want it to follow. I want it to be like, you know, if I'm in the upper left part of this video, I want to look at the upper left cell in this one. So you just use the normalized coordinates so that it's the same position. And I think if I send that in there, let's see what I get out here. Oh no. So what I need to do is actually I need to connect the rest of these first of all. This is just the red. There's green, there's blue. And now I've got white here instead of the transparent that I want. What I want here is the inverse, right? So I'm using that 1 minus whatever is coming in here. And that should give me, let's see, oh, that's in the P window. That probably doesn't work. So let's do, let's put it on video plane where we can do like blend enable. Okay, so there's my video plane, and then the important things here is blend enable. So now those are transparent. The color you're seeing in the back is the erase color of the jit.world, right? or whatever's behind it. So I could make, you know, like a grid shape. And I could send this guy back here, right? And now you're seeing it back there because it's transparent. It's awesome. All right, so that's kind of step one for doing that. Right, now as I change that that noise thing, right, you're showing and hiding the parts of that video using that. And I think, yeah, it's the white parts of this one, or actually they're the hidden parts of this one. It works the same for me either ways. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to try there was really just like adding another layer of this and seeing if I can get, you know, two videos kind of transparent on top of each other. So I'm just going to do this right now. Make another one. Get another video. Get that one in here. Okay, and where's my video? It's not there. That's because these two are sitting on top of each other. And there's kind of another element to the transparency. Right, see if I push it forward, there it is. And it's transparent, and you can see this, the chicken video behind it. Let's see, oh, I'm not playing the video. All right, but if I move it back, it disappears. So what's up with that? Because I thought this one was transparent in the back. And it seems to have something to do with your layers. Right there, it actually, it has to know what order to render them in. OpenGL has to know like what order to put them in. So there's an attribute called layer. And right now they're both on the same layer, 0. If I move this one, let's see, if I put them both on top, right, if they're both on top of each other, you get this kind of weird issue. If as soon as I pull one back, this one's being, I guess this one's being rendered first, and Mac's stuff goes from right to left. So this one's being rendered, and this one's being rendered on top of it. If I change the layer to 1, yeah, so now this one's in front. If I move this one back, I don't know. Well, this is what I've learned is I have to play around with the layers to get them to render correctly. But the transparency thing is kind of what I was going for here. There's a few other steps I want to take with this. So instead of just a black and white mask, I thought, you know, could I use some other image? And what I tried out was this. I'm using BFG, those like crazy fractal textures that you can get out of JitGL BFG. So why don't I, well, that's this part. I'm going to delete this part of this one. And here's one other thing you can do. Get JitGL BFG, and this needs a couple attributes to work right. It needs a basis. All right, that's what formula it's using. It needs a zoom is pretty important. And then there's fractal parameters if we want to use one of the fractal bases. Offset and time are the other two. So here is, where's offset? Down here. Got some offset. And then time, I'm going to use jit.time. Make it slow. And that's just spitting out a number. We want to put that into this message time. And it's going to go there once we get there. Okay. So what's coming out of BFG? Let's see. Oh, I need obviously some bangs coming in here. Okay, so right now we've just got this gray soup. It's no good. If you zoom out, you've got some blurry noise stuff happening, but it's there. Because it's grayscale, the same way this jit.noise was grayscale before. So I'm going to use the same trick that I did here, jit.op, but I'm going to do it with jitgl pix, because it's a texture that's coming out of jitgl BFG. So do this, send pick in there, and this guy up, and then in here we don't need a second input. What we're going to do is multiply by, I'm going to call it a threshold, and we're going to say if it's bigger than the threshold, output of 1. So it's coming in here. So you know, each frame coming out of here goes in here and either gets multiplied by 1 or 0 based on if this pixel, well, this happens on every pixel. So every pixel is going to come in and be multiplied by 1 or 0 based on whether or not it's greater than the threshold. And let's see what comes out of there. P window. Here we go. And I need a message called thresh. I need a float coming in here. Okay. Here you go. So as you raise this, less of those pixels are coming through. But the ones that do come through are still grayscale. They're not just black or white. So what I need to do is use the sealing function to make it black or white. It rounds the values to the nearest integer, I think, right? Yep. Okay, so now it's black or white. So now when we change the zoom, we get a more defined noise pattern. So we can use that the same way as the, blocky noise. So this is my effect. This goes in here. Let's see, let's put this guy in here. Going to, let me disable this one for now. Okay. So there it is. As you zoom, oh, let's see, gotta play this. So as you zoom, you get a different pattern. The blue parts are transparent. I'm not looping, that's why. So I can kind of hide the video and reveal it this way. Right. And time, oh, it's not doing the time thing. Why not? That's the coolest part. This is going through here. let's see, time. Nope. You have a. Maybe it is too slow. 0.01. There we go. Yeah. So time is kind of like an offset. I think in the Z dimension, right? You can offset it. Where's offset again? X and Y. So that would move it, right? X, Y, and I think time is like offsetting it in the Z. So it moves through this texture in 3D. It's a 2D slice of a 3D. Yeah. All right. So, right. That's a cool texture. And then you can put this guy back in here. Where is it? Make it layer. See the position thing. Layer thing gets to me. Okay, here we go. Right now I've got this one being drawn in front of the other one. I guess working with the position is probably the best way to get them to draw in order. All right, and now you've got I don't know, a bunch of video garbage. Like, this is why I learned Max, to do this. This is cool. There's one other thing. How long are we? 20 minutes? That's nothing, right? So there's one other thing I wanted to try here. At this point, I'm just gonna take up my whole screen and float it there. Cool. So there's one other thing I want to do. Come on, window. All right, I'm going to turn these off for now. Make another video plane with blend enable. And I'm going to do the same effect, right? I'm going to do a different video. Isn't there a... Oh, where is it? Here, this one with the B. Okay. So there's another video. I'm going to put this in between. And basically the game at this point is... what am I showing here? You know, making different black and white masks. So like, what other shapes can we get? Another cool one I found is using the jit.mo object. Jit.mo sign. I think I have a snippet with a couple of attributes for it already. Yeah. Okay. So jit.mo sign spits out a black and white image like that. All right, it's going kind of fast. Just found it goes pretty fast. It's really just sending out, you know, 0 to 1 and back in a sine wave shape. This thing, join, makes it so that it's a black and white image like that, if I'm understanding it correctly. So you can change its dimensions like that. Right, now I'm kind of pixelating it. So if we just use that, let's see. Why am I, if we just use that, why am I getting nothing here? I should be seeing something. I'm doing something wrong. Oh, yeah, that's right. So my the problem here is that this matrix that's coming out isn't full-sized like I need it to be. So I need to send it into, right, a matrix that's the dimensions I want. There we go. So there you go. It's right? The same trick. And I guess this is still grayscale, which is why some of them are slightly transparent. Change the frequency here. Slow it way down. Okay, yeah, so where it's gray, it's slightly transparent. So I could do the same trick where I do like a threshold to just make it show, you know, black or white. I think this looks kind of cool. I change the dimensions, you get a smoother gradient. If I change the frequency here, you get different bands. So one other thing you can do is now you can manipulate this matrix that's coming out of here, because right now it's just this vertical moving thing. So you can change it with jitter, which lets you rotate that, but it's all like glitchy and wipey. That could be cool. Jitter has another mode, which I believe is, this is, let's just look at them real quick. It's ignore, which is the first thing we saw, clear, wrap, clip, and fold. I think wrap is what I want. There you go. So now I can change the bands here. Okay, let's bring this back in. This is rendered behind it. And I'm going to use a position here for this video plane. If I bring this back in, this is rendered in front. I want it rendered maybe behind that, right? Or you can just play around with the positions of all three. But see, if I pull back behind these two, then it's not visible until I set it to a lower layer, and now it's visible there. So let's say in this configuration I want 0, make it 1, and this will be -1. This would be at 0. This would be in front of that. There you go. Okay, and then I want less stuff here. Okay, so that's a couple different ways to use masking and stuff in with the JitGL picks, like these operators here. I wanted to, I don't know, I want to use these kind of in conjunction with the other 3D and sketch drawing stuff to make more crazy, you know, collage-y, abstract garbage. So that's that. Thank you. Goodbye.